Hello everybody, and do you know this is our 13th set of phrases, so today's phrases are all about that ordinal number 13th. So we use the numbers when we're saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So an ordinal number, 13th, is when we're thinking about order. And do you know that a lot of people believe that the 13th is the unlucky one? What does the unlucky one mean? Unlucky, bad luck, being unfortunate, unsuccessful. But the most important thing about this is that it's linked to superstition. So in this video, we're going to talk about superstition and some of those phrases, what they mean, and the fact that actually it doesn't depend on anything you've done or I've done. It's all about chance. So let's have a look at what that all means. So to begin with, your challenge. How many of the phrases do you know about superstition, about the number 13? What does that phrase mean? Superstition about. Well, it really means these phrases are on the subject of superstition, what you believe in, based as a belief about something that's good or bad that might happen to you. This is very, very different to what you believe about other things, because this is just about what do you believe about the number 13? Well, I just think the number 13 is a number 13. Let's see what other people might think. Ah, yes. Some people say, I don't say this, but some people say that most of these superstitions are rooted in a religion. So rooted in is the important phrase. Rooted in. What does rooted in mean? Well, rooted in means developed by a faith in something that you believe. I don't actually think it's true that it's linked to religion. I think it's linked historically to religion in terms of where did it start? The roots of the tree. Where did it start? Rooted in, began. Oh, this is an interesting word. I wonder if you can say it. It's from the Greek, and if you look at the Greek use of the word, we can divide it down so that we say triskaidekaphobia. So let's try that again. Triskaidekaphobia. Doesn't sound right, does it? Let's try it again. Triskaidekaphobia. So triskaidekaphobia is the correct way to say it, is extreme superstition. Did you notice there? I was practicing, how do I say this word? But it's triskaidekaphobia. And to get the English words, sometimes you have to practice in that way. You just have to divide the word and think, how do I say that? Now, this is a new word for me because it's about extreme superstition. What does extreme mean? It means to be much bigger than normal. So if you have this type of superstition, this is really what's called a phobia, something that's going to control part of your life, and it's extreme. So extreme superstition, much bigger than ordinary. You're not just talking about good luck or bad luck. You're talking about things you won't do because you're frightened about what might happen. So that's what extreme superstition means. And did you know this fact? I didn't. President Franklin Roosevelt would not travel on the 13th day of any month, and he would never host 13 guests at a meal. Well, for our work, we're just looking at the phrase would never host. This means that he would never invite 13 people to his house for a meal. So when he had a dinner party, he would make sure there was less than 13 or more than 13. Now that's a fact I didn't know, but that phrase, would never host, it means host would not put on a party. Yes, if there were 13 people. So I wonder what the big deal is about this date. So let's have that look at that phrase, big deal. The big deal. Well, when we say big deal, we're talking about making something important. I don't think the 13th is an important date. I'm not superstitious. Are you? So these phrases come from things that other people say about superstition. They're not things I believe. They might not be things you believe. But do you know the phrases? The big deal. Sometimes you might hear us say, oh, it's no big deal. We mean it's not important. So if something happens and an English person says, it's no big deal, we mean it's not important. And what about the second part of that phrase? Yes, that might be something I would say. This silly date is talking about the 13th. And silly, that's really suggesting it's foolish. You really lack judgment if you're superstitious in this way about the 13th. So I might say this silly date, this silly person. So when we're using the word silly, we're thinking, that doesn't make sense, does it? Well, there's no facts to back that up. And how is this person doing this? How silly. So you might hear English people say, how silly. It means you didn't judge that very well, did you? And finally, let's have a look at some phrases that we use when we talk about Friday the 13th. Forget the bad luck. I'm choosing to have a great day. I love that. But I'm just going to look at the phrase, the bad luck. That's what we call the outcome, the thing that's going to happen at the end. If you wake up on Friday the 13th and think, don't walk under any ladders, don't break any mirrors, don't spill anything, oh, don't open an umbrella indoors, don't pick up a penny facing down, and don't walk by any black cats. Poor black cats, they haven't done anything. But if you're talking about bad luck, you're saying luck, that really means a success. And if you talk about bad luck, you're saying that your success is brought about by chance. You didn't do anything to make that happen. I don't believe that. I'm not superstitious. I believe that how you behave in life towards other people and what you do in life brings about your success. So let's have a quick look at those phrases, because even if you don't believe what you read, you do need to know, what do those phrases mean? The bad luck, things that are happening without you doing anything. This silly date, no judgment about that. The big deal, how important. Would never host, would never invite somebody to their house, wouldn't invite 13 people. Extreme superstition, much, much higher than normal. And this phrase, triskaidekaphobia, which is a new phrase for all of us, is a new word actually. It's not a phrase, is it? Because the phrase is extreme superstition. But triskaidekaphobia is the word for extreme superstition. That might be something you've learnt today. And rooted in, it doesn't matter what you believe it's rooted in, but you're suggesting it comes from, historically, from a long time ago. And that's the end of today's challenge. That was our 13th challenge about phrases people use about the 13th. I wonder how many you knew and how many you will listen out for, because sometimes people use those phrases without really being superstitious. We might laugh about don't walk under the ladder, and I will see you tomorrow for our next phrase challenge. Have a good day. Bye now.